Welcome to this channel. If you want to make risotto, you're in the right place, or risotto like the Italian people say. So I'm going to show you how to make risotto, and that's about it. So let's get right into it. So you first want to gather some ingredients, and some saucepans. So this one saucepan and another one. So in this one I'm gonna cook some broth, and that will have some mushroom added into it. And here's where I'm gonna cook the risotto. And so now, depending on your tastes, there will be different ingredients. So what I'm going to use rice, Carnaroli rice. It's the style, what it is, Carnaroli. And so that's the broth. There's some olive oil for the beginning, some wine for the beginning, some cheese, grana padano, some Swiss Gruyère. Yeah, let's put a bit of Swiss and some Italian. And here's the mushrooms for the broth. And I'm going to get some saffron that I haven't put here around. Yeah, the saffron has been added there. So there's really not much saffron, and it's quite expensive, by the way. So, and it's not needed. So everything, or the main ingredients, the ingredients are not needed. These ingredients are not needed. That one neither. The rice is, yeah, more or less. It's basically only the taste, depending on your tastes. And yeah, that's about it. Let's start cooking and stuff. So what we will start off doing is by putting some water that we'll put to warm, so that we get the broth. So kind of the broth is to flavor the risotto, and also kind of to cool down cool down the rice, more or less, basically, and cook it. Okay, now let's add the broth. So you can put more or less 1 teaspoon, one big spoon of how do you call this? Of broth, kind of thing. So you could do the broth on your own if you wanted, but it makes stuff a lot easier to use a powder that has only been made. I might in the future make a video about making broth on one's own. And so now I put the water to boil. One thing that we want to do is add some mushrooms. Only a bit of mushrooms. Well, that may seem a lot, but that's, yeah, depends. Oh, may as well finish a packet that there's nothing left. Okay. So, yeah, we just put this in, and then we start cooking the rice. So now we're gonna put the rice in, pour the rice in. So then you put as much rice as you want to eat. So depending on the person, you'll put more or less rice, depending on who's eating it. And yeah, that's it. And we're going to put some olive oil in the pan where we're gonna cook. And olive oil. And some olive oil. Only a bit, just so that the rice doesn't stick. So when cooking, always use the ventilation. I should have pointed out a long time ago. But when you cook, usually you always put the ventilation on. And here's the rice that you can pour. risotto is an easy-ish kind of a dish to cook, and so then you stir for the rice to be all kind of transparent. I'll show you. So look, here you have the rice that's more or less kind of normal, and here you can see the rice is kind of shiny, kind of transparent, and so you need to turn it around, turn the rice around so that you have in the oil, turn the rice around so that it gets the oil and that it can become kind of a transparent and silver kind of thing. So now you want to pour in the wine so that slightly over the rice, like this. Only a bit. So like that's the amount of wine I've put. We can barely see it. So that's the only amount that I put in. What you want to do is start stirring directly, and then when you see that there's no more liquid, you take some of your broth with a kind of spoon like this, and then you put some of it in. You put some broth in, and even if it's not boiling, you can just put it in, or if it's boiling, you can put it in. It doesn't matter. You then want to stir the broth and the rice, so you want to stir it. Okay. So you keep stirring forever, all the time. You always stir, and yeah, so you just stir forever. I tell you, like the first few times that you can do risotto, you're gonna be like, yeah, I'm so muscular with your arm. It's so funny, because it hurts so much, and it actually it strengthens your arm when doing this, if you're not used to doing that movement. So you just turn forever. When you see some bubbles or you seem to lack some liquid, you can always add some of the broth in, and you just do that all the time, and you do that all the time until that your thing is finished, it's cooked, and it's about 20 minutes of cooking. So you know the ingredients that I showed you earlier on? Well, besides the mushroom that's already in the broth, so you basically put them whenever you want, whenever you feel like putting them on. I usually put it about halfway into the cooking. So when I've done about halfway, so like about 10 minutes after pouring some broth in and doing this, then you start putting the other ingredients, and no matter which order it is, it's okay. You just put whatever and whenever you want, and it's basically all up to your tastes and what you want to eat. I'm going to put all the ingredients in because why not? Just put them all at the same time. So I just put a bit of water to make it cool down a bit, and so I'll just put the cheese in. And so let's put some Swiss cheese that normally we don't put in if you want to be pure Italian. And so you just pour some cheese, however you like, how much you like. Some may put less than me, some put more than me. It depends. I like salt, so as I like salt, I put a lot of palm cheese in. Yes! I'll show you. And then I put some saffron in. And so there's really not much saffron. And then you start stirring. So here's the amount that I've put in, more or less. And Yeah. So what the saffron does is it just it slightly gives it taste, or it gives it some taste, and turns the risotto yellow, like a really strong yellow, depending on the amount that you put in. And so it becomes really yellow. So if you don't put the saffron in, it'll be a bit more whiter than mine. But yeah, that's basically the idea, and you just keep stirring. And what the cheese does, putting the cheese, so it really salts the parmesan, it salts the risotto, and also, I don't know if you know, but the cream, if you put cream in, it kind of gets a bit thicker, and so the putting cheese in will make the dish thicker, the risotto thicker. So look at this, it's quite good. So one of the people that told me how to make risotto, one Italian that taught me how to make risotto, used to say that if you don't always stir in the same way, so like all the time clockwise, well, it's like you need to always stir clockwise. And so Italian people are usually quite superstitious, and so I told him, hey, you know what? How about I suddenly like turn in the other way, you know? Because, and so he's like, oh, my father's gonna like turn in his grave and stuff like that. It's basically, yeah, it's just superstition. It's quite fun fact, or fun story. And so then you just cook, and every now and then you taste a bit, and that's it. And if you like your rice to be cooked more or less, you can add various things. So you can add more, leave it to cook longer if you want it to be more kind of soggy. If you like the rice to be more al dente, you leave it a bit less, like 20 minutes straight. And yeah, it's all personal preference. And now here's the risotto. So once it's like this, more or less, it's ready to serve. So if you like more liquid, you can add some more liquid, or if you want less liquid, you can make it evaporate, or things like that. So it's all personal preference. Well, it's now ready to serve. And okay, let's do this. You first want to eat it with only parmesan on the dish, on the risotto, and then so you taste it once, and then afterwards you add some black pepper, and then you eat it. Buon appetito.